Let me explain these things once again. So first thing, we need a ball that would keep moving on the screen, and this ball does not disappear if it touches the walls anywhere. So if it touches any ball or any edge of your screen, it should not disappear. It should still keep moving within your game frame. It needs to bounce and it needs to keep moving. Okay, after that we need a character. Character is going to be a paddle or a hand. So it depends on us or on our own creativity that what kind of game do we want to make. If we want to make, let's say, a football sort of game, so in that football game we would want to use a foot. If we want to use a basketball game, we would have to use a hand. If we are making a ping pong game, we need to have a pedal at the bottom. Okay, so next is making a goal. So once we have made that goal and a ball touches the goal, we are going to score a point. And similarly, we are going to lose a point if the ball hits, if the ball misses the paddle or it misses the hand or it misses the uh, foot or anything like that. So we need these three things. These three characters are what we need. We need to have a scoring criteria. Scoring criteria is kind of very simple. If you touch the goal, okay, if you touch the goal, you score a point. If the ball misses the bottom character, which can be the pedal or the hand or the foot, if it misses that bottom character, opponent scores a point. So that this is basically a journal algorithm for this game that we are going to make, and it would be very easy to make that game. You already know the what we can say. You already know the mechanisms that you are going to follow, and you have already done that through yesterday's basketball game. Today we are going to just do it in Scratch and do it a little differently. Let's first open Scratch, and in the Scratch we're going to start working on it. If you guys have Scratch with you, you can start doing it while I'm doing it. You can do it with me so that we all are on the same page, right? So let's just open the Scratch, and after that we'll start working on this game. So can you see Scratch on my screen now? Say yes or no, please.
Yes.
Okay. So as you see, the Scratch is loading. It's creating process and blah blah. It's done. So now, first thing that we need to do is set up the environment for this game. So let's say that we go with that basketball game. So for that basketball game, I'm going to choose a backdrop, and that backdrop is going to be maybe this basketball backdrop. If you want to make a football game, you can have a football background as well. If you can't see a football background, you can use this playing field as the backdrop, or you have the soccer here as well. Okay, so you can use this soccer, or you can use this basketball. So it's up to you that whichever you want to use. Fine. So let's say that if we want to make, what do you think we should make, basketball or football?
Why not baseball?
Baseball is kind of a different game. It's a different game. Baseball would have different game rules. Okay. So let's say we make the basketball game today. So in the basketball game, currently what you see is this goal here. So we need to mark this goal as a character so that when our ball touches this character, we know that we have scored a point. And between that, we can keep moving. Okay. So first thing that we do is make a character that appears here.
Sir,
Yes.
I can complete the basketball levels.
You completed them or you couldn't?
Complete.
आपने कर लिया था complete. So that's very good. Okay. So let's make our first character. The first character is the ball. So let's delete this cat here and add a ball here. because we are making a basketball game. So let's say we have this basketball ball here. So this ball is kind of a little bigger. So let's try to make it a little smaller. So in order to make it smaller, what you need to do is go to those costumes. Okay. Once you have got on the costumes panel, select this first tool which says select. Select the basketball like that and reduce its size. You can reduce its size from the corners and it would reduce equally on all the sides. So reduce it till you see that if the size is fine. And once you are done with that, just put your ball and puts its middle in this cross middle. Okay. Something like that. So now this ball looks good. This ball now looks perfect for the basketball game. If it looks a little bigger, we can make it a little smaller as well. Now you see when I press Alt button on my keyboard and I press this and I try to reduce its size, it reduces on all four sides, which is more suitable for me. So this is kind of a suitable size for the ball. Fine. Now let's try to find a way how can we make this ball screen. So you need to make this ball move and you want this to happen forever. So I'm going to go to controls and use a forever loop. So forever this ball is going to move and if it touches the edge, I would want my ball to bounce back. So if I use this one and let's say that I put up a start point for it, the start point I can select from go to. Let's say I want my ball to start somewhere here, okay, or somewhere. So now the start point would have to be 157 and 144. X 157. So I will put X 157 here. 157 and this Y is 144. So I put Y 144 here. So whenever I will start the game, I would want my character to come here, no matter wherever it is. Whenever I start it, I would want it to be here. And now I can ask my character to start. So this is what happens when it moves forever. You see, it is stuck here. This is happening because it is not edging back. It is not bouncing back from the edge. So let's say that we use this if on edge bounce tool here. If you will scroll down a little, you will see this if on edge bounce. Let's say I put it here and see what happens. Now the ball is touching the edge and it's coming back. It's touching the edge and it's coming back. But what is the problem here? Can anyone tell me what is the problem?
It won't go down.
It's not going down. So in order to make it go down, we need to change its direction of movement. We need to turn this ball in a certain direction so that it goes down. So let's say that I go to this turn block here and use it here. Now let's see what happens. Now the ball is coming down, right? But every time this is going to happen, the ball is going to come the same way, right? So let's say that I want to give it a better movement by not specifying its perfect angle, that at what angle should it turn, but asking it to select a random angle every time. Okay, so for that what we are going to do is we are going to go to operators, pick up this pick random and put it here and change it to let's say 40 to 70. So now this ball will turn to either 40 or 70 degrees. Between 40 and 70, it can be any number between 40 and 70. Now you can see that the ball is moving differently. And whenever I would want to start, I would want my character to be pointing in direction 90 so that there is a certainty that this character would move in from the same point but would be having a different angle. Fine. Now does that look like a little better? Does it? So let's go towards the next thing. So now we have done this first part, which was a ball moving on the screen, and this is almost done. So let's strike it through because this is done. Now we need a character at the bottom. This character needs to move on screen. You can either move it with your keyboard or you can move it with your mouse as well. I will show you today how to move it with a keyboard. And after that, if we have enough time at the end, I will show you how to move it with the mouse as well. So first is, let's say that we keep it moving, uh, but it moves with, let's say, the mouse buttons, or sorry, the keyboards. The ball actually does not need to move at the bottom. The ball has to move automatically. So this code is done here. Let's now select another character. That would be a person maybe, or a hand at the bottom. So let's see what characters do we have. So we have this Andy here who is playing basketball. This is a character that we can use. After that we have, do we see any hand character here? What if I write hand here? No, we do not have a hand character. But let's see that what other options do we have.
Sir, why don't we use paddle?
We can use a paddle as well. You can use this button as well. You can use this broomstick. You can use the bread, whichever character you want to use. It's up to you that whichever character do you want to use. Let's say we use a paddle because we do not have a hand here. But what we can do is we can get a hand from any of these characters if we want. Let's say that the character that I'm looking for, the hand that I'm looking for, is this Vanda's hand. So I will open this character here. I will go to its costumes. I can remove this character's main portions and maybe select the arm only. This arm is like selected completely. First, let me remove its face, feet. It says feet. All extra parts that we do not need, we can delete them. And now we can play with its nodes. You can see that there are a lot of nodes here. So what you can do is just select it like that, delete all the random nodes. Now you have a sort of hand here that you can pick and choose from. Okay. And its other node is like here, so you can change it. So now you have this hand, but this hand looks like a little small. Let's try to make its arm a little smaller by cutting the unimportant edges here, like these two. I'll delete them. And now I've got only the hand here. Which is kind of better. Now let's say that this is kind of a little small and I want to make it a bit bigger. So I can increase its size, tilt it like that. So maybe this kind of character is for suitable for me for the hand. Similarly, I can put a line here to mark its end as well. Let's say I use a paintbrush tool and I paint it something like that. And I can further change its background color to, let's say, black. Change its thickness also if we want. Let's zoom into it. start it like here, delete this one, delete this one as well, delete this as well, and now you can have it something like that. And then you can obviously rotate it if you want and put it just somewhere. So now you have got a hand here. So this hand would now supposed to move on the screen. So let's see that how can we move this hand on the screen. First, let's zoom out. Make sure that this character is in the middle of the screen. So checking if the character is middle on the screen is quite easy. Just select that character, pick it up. You will see that four middle part with 4 lines and a circle. You just need to put this center 4 lines in the middle, and then you can increase its size by pressing Alt and expand. So this is kind of suitable for me at the moment. So now you have got a hand. It's up to us that if we want to use a hand like that or maybe somewhere like that. It's up to us. So we can just
Sir, how do we get the hand?
I have recorded this so you can see how I made the hand. I actually used the character with the hands and I deleted its body parts and just kept hand only from it. You can always upload a hand if you want. Let's say that you can go to Google and you can write hand clip art. So you can use any of those hand images that you want. Okay.
Okay.
Whichever you find is fine. You can use this one as well. You can use half part of it as well. So which is what you can use. Okay. So once you are done with this one, now let's try to put it here at the bottom. Tell my game where the hand should be when I start the game. So let's say that our hand should be somewhere at this point, which is x14 and y minus 14. Keep it to good numbers, like round off numbers, and it's better.
Sir, can we erase the body parts with the eraser?
No, you can erase it with the eraser as well, and you can select them to delete as well. Use the selection tool to select, and then you can press the backspace or the delete button to delete them as well. Okay. So this is where you had to start. Maybe it's a little below. So maybe I can make it a little higher. Minus 130 would make it just good. Okay. So now I need to make this hand move on the screen. So for that, I'm going to write a code. First, I'm going to ask my character to start always at this place, and then choose how do I need to move my hands. So for moving the hands, I'm going to use this event when space key pressed. You can use this one also. You just have to attach the suitable block for movement here. Another option is that you can use an if block within a forever loop to see how it is happening. So if go to sensing, choose key space pressed. If space key is pressed, I would not want the space key, I would want the arrow keys. So if right arrow key is pressed, how do we move our character on the right side? Who remembers we did that in the maze game as well? राइट पे मूव करने के लिए क्या करते थे? याद करें. If you're moving on the right side, you change x by a positive value. And if you are moving, I'm duplicating it. I'm not recreating it. I'm duplicating it and just putting it at the bottom and changing it to the left arrow. If you want to move the left side, you need to change x by a negative value. Done? Now let's see what happens. Now when I press the right arrow, it goes to right. When I press the left arrow, it goes to left. You think that it is too fast? Yes, it is too fast. And if we want to make it slower, we can change x by value to a smaller number. Let's say 8. And this one also do, let's say minus 8. Now you would see that the movement is kind of a little slower than what it was previously. You can even make it much slower by changing it to 5 and -5. And now it would be even slower than that. Now it's more slow. Okay, so it's kind of suitable for me at this time. So now you have the hand at the bottom, which is there to collect the ball. Okay, so the hand is currently moving. So now if I use this event when flag clicked to start the game, that would be suitable. I just need to make sure that all the code that I have written, I need to put it with the when flag clicked. So this one also with one flag click for the basketball as well, and when for the hand as well. So now you press the flag button, you see the basketball and the ball are moving, but there is one problem here. What's the problem? When the ball touches the hand, it does not go back in the air. Instead, it touches at the bottom. It's not bouncing back when it touches the hand. So let's say that we define something. How do we bounce the ball back once it touches the hand? So let's say we use another if block here, and from this if block, we are going to, let's say, duplicate it. Oh, sorry, for the ball, we are going to actually move the ball back. So in this forever, I'm going to use an if block, and I'm going to go to sensing and see if the ball touches, use this touching one, put it in the if block. So if the ball is touching the hand, let's rename the hand as well. If the ball touches the hand, something should happen. What should happen? The ball needs to bounce back, but there is no code here which gives this instruction to the ball to bounce back, because we have this instruction here which says if on edge bounce, but it is not the edge. It is basically, you can say, the hand. So the ball needs to bounce back when it touches the hand. So we are going to write a code here that would make your ball turn back. So you need to turn back, use this turn block here. Okay. You can use this also, point in direction, or you can use this turn block. So point in direction is kind of a random thing and it is not suited here. So let's say that we turn it. We are going to turn it either anti-clockwise or clockwise. So if the ball touches the hand, we want it to turn to, let's say, 90 degrees. That is what happens now. When the ball touches the hand, it goes back. It stays there for some time, but then it goes back. See, now it's working fine. So if you are going to touch the ball with the hand, it's going to bounce back, right?
Sir, mine is not working.
Can you show me what is the problem that you are having?
Yes.
Share the screen, I may help you out. Yes, what's happening? Press the flag button. So it's touching it from the bottom. It should be touching it from the top. Then it would work. You need to first move your hand somewhere. Can you move your hand somewhere?
Okay. Mm, I can't.
Have you written the code for the hand? I guess you haven't done that. So is your character moving when you press the up arrow and the right or left arrow? So you have used down arrow here.
Sorry.
You have used up and down arrows here. Instead, you need to use right and left arrows. Yes, left here and right here. Good. Now you can start moving it. So if it touches it from the top, it's going to go back. If it touches it from the bottom, it's not going to go back. You need to stop it when it touches.
Okay.
If you keep on moving it, it would be doing something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So the next part is that this ball is now working fine. This game is now working fine. See, when I keep on touching it, it happens some of the time. But if I leave it, it would run properly. What you can do is you can increase your ball speed a little or increase your hand speed a little. आप अपने हाथ हैंड की स्पीड थोड़ी सी चेंज कर लें, थोड़ी सी बढ़ा लें. So let's say that we change the hand speed. Instead of 5 you use it 8 and -8 here, and now your hand is going to move a little fast, so you're going to reach the ball quickly, and then you can stop somewhere and keep on playing this game. Okay, it's stuck.
Okay.
You don't need to, you need to make sure that it doesn't stuck. If we are using a flatter surface, it would be easier because the flatter surfaces do not have those points at different places, and the ball would actually be moving very smoothly. Okay. Okay. The next thing now is to get some scores. So in order to get the scores, we need to tell where that goal line is. So let's say that we paint a goal line. In order to paint our goal line, we are just going to use this rectangle here, draw it, keep it to any color that you want. Let's say I want a dark red color for that. And I should be having it here at this position, but maybe a little thinner. Here in this game, your character should always be in the middle, in the costume design section. Here you can keep it wherever you want. Now you see that this line is going out of the goal. So we need to make it a little smaller. So in order to make it smaller, what you're going to do is just change its horizontal length like that. And once it fits in the basket window, you are good to go. You can change its color to make it clearly visible as well. Let's say that you change to this color, which is that more visible? You can change it to any color which you find is more visible. Let's say something yellow is going to be more visible. Now it's kind of a little fluorescent and you can clearly see it. Just position it properly. Go to this sprite and always tell that this needs to be at this point whenever you press the flag button. Now what happens is nothing is going to happen with this character now. This character is there. Now we need to draw something at the bottom also. We have missed the hand. So for that there is a line tool available. So you can select this line here and just drag it at the bottom. Nothing else you have to do about that. And also tell that whenever the flag is clicked, this object needs to be at this position. So you are kind of almost done with this game. Now you need to tell what happens if you touch this sprite, and now you need to happen what happens when you touch this line. So let's say that we go to variables and make two variables. First is my score. Okay. The second is opponent score. I make another variable and that is opponent score. So we have make two variables there. As you can see, I can move them wherever I want. Something like that. So they have large readout options as well. You can change it to large readout, but they won't show what are the names of these variables. So what you can do is make them as normal readout so that you know what these are about. So you can read what these are. And after that, what you can do is start coding for the scores. So the score is going to be decided by the ball. Again, we are going to use if statements. First if statement is that similar to this one. This one. If the ball touches sprite 1, what happens? Two things are going to happen. First, I would want all these things to happen. And I would not want the ball to turn 90 degrees. I would want this to happen. And before this happens, I would want to add a score in my tally. And that is very simple. Just change my score by 1. So if now you touch that yellow bar, you are going to get 1 score. See, you see, you get 1 score and the ball starts on the other side, but it's kind of very quick. So what we can do is add some weight here. We can go to controls, add this weight here, and let's just wait for 1 second till the ball starts again. Okay. Similarly, you can go to looks and hide your object once it touches that and shows back again after 1 second, like that. Now let's see what happens if you touch that yellow bar. It's going to touch it. Yes, that. Now you are getting score, your ball is hiding, and it starts again from its starting position. Now the next thing is that how do we lose a point? Again, use the same block of code that you have just made, add it at the bottom, and change this touching sprite to line. So if the ball touches the line, now you do not need to change my score, you need to change opponent score. See, that is how it is working now. Fine. But where is the ball? Do you see ball anywhere? I don't see it. So what happens with the ball? The ball is now lost and I can't get it back. So for that, I am going to use this show button here and put it at the start of the game. So whenever the flag is pressed, the ball would come to appear on my screen. It's kind of like stuck there. No, it's moving. Now it's stuck. So all of the game credentials are now working fine. You are getting score, you are losing score, your ball is hidden at some times, then it shows back. Everything is happening fine. The only thing that is left now is that how do you win this game or how do you lose this game? So for that, we are going to use this again. When flag clicked, this event here, what we can do is we can actually have it into two you can say blocks. I can separate this one and this one